Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and I think it's safe to say that this game is it's pretty good in terms of the multiplayer on the online base, but the story is alright. Um and I think it's safe to say at least some, if not most people who play this wants a third game. I would be up for a third game, I should say. I'm one of those people that would be up for a third Battlefront game, right? Because I really do enjoy the mechanics of this, and I think if they were to bring in Mass Effect 3, not Mass Effect, sorry, a Battlefront 3, then they could heavily improve on the mechanics and the characters that they allow us gamers to play as. But in this article, this GameRant article is titled Star Wars Battlefront 2 successor would need to reprise one pivotal mechanic for lightsaber wielders. Now, I gotta have to admit, I really loved playing the characters with the lightsaber. You know, being able to being able to block the bolts as the characters was fun. Now I have to say, and this isn't exactly a jab towards the character themselves, but I wasn't a huge fan of playing as Rey. I feel like out of all the Star Wars, all the characters that wielded the lightsabers, she was kind of the hardest to master. Her first abilities, I didn't feel really complimented her all too well. Her special abilities didn't really compliment her as well it should have. So that's one of my critiques about the lightsaber characters. The character that uses lightsabers, that Rey's special abilities didn't really complement her that well, in my humble opinion. But let's see what this article is saying, shall we? Star Wars Battlefront relies on the Star Wars IP to determine its unique gameplay with mechanics like lightsaber combat and blasters usage that differentiate it from other shooters. While lightsaber combat is not the primary focus of gameplay, being able to switch lightsabers on and off strategically can provide a tactical advantage, allowing players to move through the maps undetected. And if a third installment of Star Wars Battlefront is released, it should incorporate the ability to manually extinguish and ignite lightsabers, as well as improve lightsaber mechanics for an immersive and engaging experience. Now, I have to agree that with the lightsabers being able to be deactivated and activated, that would be a very cool feature to have. Because I don't think, from what I can, from the little I can remember from the original Battlefront 2 game that I used to play on the PlayStation 2 with my brother, I don't think you were able to turn your lightsabers on and off. But yeah, again, there were more of a interesting hero roster than this version of Battlefront 2 had. So I remember my brother hated when I would play when we were on the Kashyyyk world, and he would play the Rebels and I would play the Empire, and how I would always play as Darth Vader, and because I will always beat him as Darth Vader on Kashyyyk. I don't know what it was about Kashyyyk and Darth Vader that made me so good, but for some reason I was so much better than my brother, who's 3 years older than me. So, being butthurt that I kept on whooping his ass on Battlefront 2 as Vader on Kashyyyk, he said, yeah, when we're on Kashyyyk, we're switching things up. You can never be Imperial ever again on Kashyyyk. And I remember, I was like, the one area where I can beat you in, where the other areas you beat me in, what the heck? What the heck? Anyways, Star Wars Battlefront would not need to introduce many new features, as it had already refined its multiplayer gameplay well. There are likely mechanics from other shooters that could be drawn from as inspiration, but as its adherence to the Star Wars IP is really what the franchise is oriented towards, and that discerns what kind of gameplay will be involved. Blasters aren't anything like ordinary, non-fictional firearms. For example, and lightsabers combat is absolutely unique when playing a legendary character from the series. Most of Star Wars Battlefront gameplay doesn't actually have players hack and slash with a lightsaber, but it can if fans were largely enthusiastic about playing as a hero or villain character. This combat arguably has never been emulated in its execution, but the fantasy of leading an army on an iconic Star Wars planet with a lightsaber in hand is still delivered adaptably. Moreover, Star Wars Battlefront included one seemingly small detail for lightsaber wielders that is actually incredibly paramount to understanding how to sweep a map with unsuspecting skills. Ex, ex, is extinguishing lightsabers in Star Wars Battlefront give us tactical advantage. It's simple on paper, but being able to switch a lightsaber on and off whenever players like is massively impactful in game. Jedi and Sith alike are not particularly known for their ability to be stealth oriented necessarily, but playing as one of them in Star Wars Battlefront makes it easy to want to rush into a room full of ordinary soldiers, opponents, and cleave through them with lightsaber strikes. However, players also draw a lot of attention to themselves while leaping and dashing around with a lightsaber brandished. The lightsaber will eventually ignite when players perform any neutral action, such as dash, block an incoming blaster bolts, or strike down an opponent. But when crossing the map to flank an enemy spawn point or transitioning into the map's next playable area, it's highly advantageous to have a lightsaber deactivated. This way, players can sprint by without drawing nearly as much attention to themselves, especially at nighttime maps such as Endor, when a lightsaber blade will paint a clear target on its wielder. Certain characters already stand out quite prominently, and their shouted dialogue can also give away someone's position. But switching a lightsaber off is still a great means of infiltrating parts of the map relatively unseen. Then, when in the optimal position, the player could ignite their lightsaber again and ambush their opponent. Such a strategy can't work on every map, though it is still a great option to have the ads on the lightsaber wielder's functionality. And sorry if I ran through that line roughly, sorry. Star Wars Battlefront 3 was unfortunately cancelled nearly the finish line, and it's now unlikely that it will get picked up back up in the near future as a result. But if a third installment is to be refurbished, the refurbished franchise does everywhere it's head, it would be essential for it to include the mechanic allowing lightsaber to be manually extinguished and ignited. Lightsaber combat in and of itself is is a completely different matter that could gain a lot from revisions for a future entry, especially if lightsaber duel clashes could be made engaging and immersive while still being quick enough to accommodate the multiplayer mayhem going around them in the meantime. Balancing issues will always be an impact on the franchise due to its multiplayer and how strong certain legacy characters might be when they are introduced. Whether they have a lightsaber or not, nonetheless, this one mechanic should never be trifled with in Star Wars Battlefront as long as lightsaber wielders still play a prominent role. And that sucks that Battlefront 3 was dropped. I think that what Star Wars is lacking right now, outside which is a lot, you can say a lot, but in this scenario, when it comes to relating it to the video game area, is not having that many games in canon. Sure, it has a fair amount in Legends, but in canon, it doesn't have many games. We got, Star Wars Battlefront 1, 2, Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, and Star Wars Squadrons. Outside of that, if I miss any games, it's not that many. It's probably 2, maybe 3 other Star Wars games that are currently out, and that's not many. Star Wars has been under the Disney rule for nearly the past decade, for the last 8 years. Actually, no. Didn't Star Wars get when did Lucasfilm acquire Star Wars again? So my math was wrong. It was bought on December 21st, 2012, and I forget too because that was the year I went to Star Wars weekend in June of 2012, and I met Danny Logan there. And I forgot how close the acquisition of Disney buying Star Wars or Lucasfilm was to when I was at Star Wars weekend. So it was 6 months after. Okay, but my point is, Disney has been having the rights to Lucasfilm for the last 11 years, right? And we only got a few Star Wars games. Dude, we got more Star Wars movies and shows combined than games. And not all the movies and games has been, not all the shows and movies has been good. Sure, you can say Andor, Rogue One, Force Awakens, Bad Batch, Rebels, and Tales of the Jedi, for example, and Visions were good. And there are probably a few that I forgot to mention, but then there are some projects Kenobi, for example, or Book of Boba, or The Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, that were My point is, we had more content, in terms of the shows and movies than we do have games. And I rather them take their time making a good product of game or a movie or a show, but still, come on, we should have at least a bit more games than we do now, especially since it's been 11 years. 11 freaking years. Lucasfilm, you're slacking here. Do better. And then we also got Lego Star Wars complete the Skywalker saga, which is practically Disney's version of the complete saga. And I've been hearing mixed reviews about that game, but come on, Disney. It's time to step up in terms of games. Make more games. Make Battlefront 3 happen. You guys, I think you guys are on a good start with the mechanics in this game. All you have to do is improve upon it. And if you do have a story in Battlefront 3, just have it be better than the story in this game. I can tell you right now, Battlefront 3 could easily outdo this game and the two Star Wars games last Cal Kestis combined. If you guys play your cards right. That said, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section now. Comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Guide one another, and may the force be with us all.